Weather Service has now issued yet another warning for the Eastern Cape. More disruptive rain leading to flooding is expected to hit large parts of the province until tomorrow. Today, local government officials have been visiting areas that were ravaged by the weekend's floods. Newzroom Africa's Sipha Kema joins us now from Kariyega. Sipha, good afternoon to you. You've been moving around the province today. How bad is the damage? What are officials saying?
Well, Stephen, yes, we have been moving from various areas within Kariyega, which is in the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro, and currently we're at the fire station. We know that there was some damage done by those floods here. We can see, Stephen, some of the walls have actually collapsed, as well as inside that fire station. We've seen some extensive damage. We were told that vehicles were actually moved during that time. This is where the boundary wall would have been, Stephen, but it was swept away by those waters over the weekend, of course. Now, I think let's get in the Premier of the here, who has been conducting oversight in Kariyega currently. I think, Premier, with what you've seen so far with the extensive damage, what are we looking at?
Well, good evening firstly to you, Sipha, and the listeners, our viewers, and Stephen in the studio. Terrible, terrible. It's really catastrophic, as you can see. We've been moving around, seeing these kind of miracles. I must say, some of these things that you see are really, really miraculous. Thanks God that we haven't lost so many lives. Yes, we have lost lives, 8 lives or 7 lives. It's not a small thing. Yes, another one is still missing. We really want to extend our sincere word of condolences to those families. We are with them, but the damage to the property, you can imagine what water was doing. That was running havoc here. You can see, and thanks that we still have workers up, and the workers have been responding to this working. We have seen what has happened at Volkswagen, the big plant there, almost 4,000 employees that are reporting there. For the last 24 hours, they were unable to work, but they have started the first shift now in the last 2 hours. The operations are now on. So at least thanks God that our people will still have their lives being restored. We're here to restore their lives. We're doing everything. We're together with municipality, provincial government, MECs, the national is coming down. We're working with them, even though we work virtually for now. So we are making sure that we respond to this challenge as quick as possible so that we normalize their lives.
Now, when we talk about the ministers coming in, we do believe that part of your engagement with whether or not you'll be declaring the province a disaster area or site.
Yes, definitely. We are working on that. That is based on a report. The report is being worked out, being consolidated. When that report is out and there, we'll be able to do that. Remember, this is here in Kariyega, Gqeberha in particular, as well as East London and Port St. John's. When we do that as a province, we must combine that. So currently the disaster team in the province is consolidating those reports. Surely a quick special ex-committee will have to be convened to look at that. And I'm happy that ministers are already responding because this is a crisis. We can't be waiting for those kind of things. The government has got regulations on how we respond to challenges like this. We need to restore the lives of our people. We need to bring their lives back. And I'm happy that people are going back to work and we'll be fixing houses. What is important is their livelihoods. They must still have food on their tables. So if the work continues here, they wake up and report to work whilst we're fixing their houses, and that will be much better for us. So we are on top of issues. We're on top of our game to make sure that we deal with this issue quite as expeditious as possible.
Now, Premier, when we're talking about houses, I mean, this is an issue, I think, for the Eastern Cape, the removal of people on floodlines, the removal of people in low-lying areas, more especially those informal settlements. Of course, you do have those that are refusing to move, but then you do have those that are eager to move. I think if we take it back to 2022, January, those floods in BCM, we were there. And that area currently, we know that they're still waiting to be moved and saying that after the last visit in January 22, no one came back to do a follow-up. They're still waiting to be moved. And I believe that those are some of the areas that were affected.
I was in East London all morning until 12 today. I was happy to hear from them that now they are willing. Government has been engaging them. MEC, housing, and as well as the municipality to relocate them. They've been refusing for a number of subjective and objective factors. You know, if you talk about Duncan Village in East London, it's close by town. People can walk into town. People are hustling. People are hawkers. When you remove them into far flung areas, it's difficult for them to meet their actually ends meet. So basically, we're looking at all those variables in terms of decision making. But I'm happy now that today they were saying they're prepared to be relocated and municipalities identify the land parcels where they can be taken to. Even here, the flood lying areas and all those low-lying areas which are really exposed to floods the way that you see. We've got to, government must put up, we do have bylaws that don't allow that. We do have environmental studies. That's the reason why before we develop, we must do an EIA. So we must stick to the law because when the crisis comes, no one takes responsibility. It's only government that then is actually taking responsibility. So we've got to provide that leadership. The center must hold. And I'm happy that the leadership here has been on the ground handling it. Yes, we've got to now to be very much preventative. Prevention is better than cure. We've been dealing with this issue. Now we know, we accept it, that we're a disaster-prone province. So we never anticipated. We've been talking about a drought here, disaster for the last 7 years. We never anticipated that by now we'll be talking about this kind of heavy rains in winter. The weather services indicated level 2 warning on the day that this started, but on Sunday they then gave us level 6. We were already late to react into that, but you can see that this is along the Wild Coast. It goes up to KZN. It's a dangerous area. So this particular Indian Ocean, I think we need deeper thinking. I know Environmental Affairs National, they've done a lot of environmental engineering studies around this, how best we should be able to respond to the challenges that are coming out of here. So here today, we've got to fix lives. What is most important for us is to normalize their lives. Get people have to have blankets, have clothes, have food, whilst we're busy trying to get their households back.
Thank you so much, Premier. Well, Stephen, I just want to quickly, briefly, before we run out of time, bring in the mayor, the executive mayor of the Nelson Mandela Bay. Currently, level 6 weather alert has been issued. What are the plans? We've seen that some people who are evacuated to those community halls have now been pulled, actually leaving and going back home. What is the plan for the metro?
Yes, thank you very much and good evening to all the viewers. We received the warning for level 6 for today and tomorrow. We're still expecting about another 90-odd millimeters of rain overnight. As we're standing here, you can feel the drizzle coming, so we are prepared for that. In terms of the residents moving back, that is indeed a problem. We will be going now to visit those areas where those community centers that they are in, and to persuade people, please do not go back. It's not safe as yet. And yes, that is about it. The plan that we have is to go there and to persuade those people. Please stay in the community centers where it is safe.
All right, thank you so much. That's Executive Mayor of the Nelson Mandela Bay, Gary van Niekerk, there, Stephen, telling us about the plans right now. Level 6 weather warning has been issued. Disruptive rains and flooding of properties. That's from the South African Weather Service, alerting most parts of the Eastern Cape, of course. So the plan is, we've seen in the morning, Stephen, when we first arrived, we saw that some of those people that were actually evacuated ahead of the warnings to those community centers and churches have actually gone back home to their homes and informal settlements. So it's going to take some convincing again for them to be brought back into the community halls.
Sipha Kema for that live update. Thank you very much indeed.